Hello, fellow lightworkers and spiritual warriors. Welcome to the August 2024 edition of the 5D Messages from Mount Shasta. This is your mystic messenger from Mount Shasta, Dr. Christina, intuitive guide and author. I have been inspiring and supporting fellow lightworkers as we shift into a higher state of consciousness and help the collective with this ascension process. Please make sure to follow me to receive my latest podcasts. We are now entering into the 8th month of the number 8 year, which is also the power year. According to numerology, 2024 is the universal year number 8, which represents power, balance, and the divine feminine. The number 8 is also ruled by Saturn, which represents karma, and the energy just keeps ramping up as the year is progressing. We ended July with the opening of the Lion's Gate portal, which begins on the Galactic New Year. The Galactic New Year begins a new planetary cycle marked by the rising of the blue star Sirius, our spiritual sun, right alongside of our sun. Lion's Gate, which peaks on August 8th, marks the alignment of the Earth, the Sirius star Orion, and the Leo constellation. The Sirius star has been emitting powerful light codes, and when it aligns with our sun, it will transmit this galactic wisdom through the Lion's Gate portal. And I have to say that the number of solar flares we've been experiencing has been unprecedented and absolutely exhausting. This year's Lion's Gate is super special because it peaks on the 888 portal, which is definitely the highlight of the month. I have to admit that July was not nearly as pleasant as June was, but it sure was powerful. Although I was initially excited about the Sirius Gateway, which opened on the 2nd and ended on the 7-7 portal, and the Cancer new moon on the 4th, it was overshadowed by not only our 3 outer planets, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto in retrograde, but a grand air trine of Pluto in Aquarius, Black Moon Lilith in Libra, and Sedna in Gemini. And boy, was I clobbered with some pretty heavy energies. It was as though the Cancer new moon felt more like a full moon because of this powerful alignment with Lilith and Sedna, which prompted some major clearings of the wounds of the divine feminine. Many lightworkers reported having a difficult time as well. If you are not familiar with the mythology of Lilith or Sedna, Lilith was the first wife of Adam, but refused to be submissive, and was banished out of Eden. Sedna, who also refused to be submissive, was thrown overboard by her father. He cut off her fingers as she clung onto the boat that they were in, and she sank to the bottom of the ocean and became the goddess of the ocean creatures. Sedna just moved into Gemini and will be there for the next 40 years, so expect a lot of dialogue and releasing of scars perpetrated by the patriarchy. Both Lilith and Sedna symbolize the letting go of the sacrifices women have made and releasing the traumas women have endured. During this transit, I had huge realizations and clearings at Fairy Falls here at Mount Shasta, which I feel has both a feminine and a sacral chakra energy. Although I had a little reprieve on the 7-7 portal, which was quite wonderful, I was once again clobbered with some pretty heavy energies the next week when Venus moved into Leo and immediately squared Pluto, again releasing traumas in the love department. That weekend, I also experienced huge insights and clearings of heart wounds, which I believe I released on my hike at Heart Lake. Not only did we experience 2 weeks of intense astrological alignments the beginning of July, we also experienced an unprecedented amount of moderate and a few severe solar flares, not to mention a heat wave. July was supercharged. So if July was a rough month for you, you are definitely not alone. While we were all still recovering from the first 2 weeks of these intense energies, we then experienced 2 more huge waves of energy towards the latter part of the month. On the 21st, we experienced the second full moon in Capricorn at the 29th degree or critical degree. It is highly unusual to have 2 full moons back-to-back in the same sign. Capricorn is the father sign of the zodiac and represents hard work and responsibility. The shadow side of Capricorn is workaholism, greed, power dynamics, and the patriarchy. These 2 full moons created a strong push to release the shadow aspects of Capricorn. I personally felt as though I released some deep-seated limited beliefs, including valuing myself based on how much money I made, needing to work hard to obtain abundance, as well as denying myself the pleasure of doing the things I love because I won't potentially make as much money. All of these themes align with the shadow aspects of Capricorn archetype, which is so embedded in our collective philosophy. And this is definitely changing. I have heard from so many other light workers that it is becoming intolerable to keep working the way we have been. At the end of the month, Chiron, the wounded healer, went into retrograde in Aries, conjunct Eris, the sister of Mars, and the archetype of the feminine warrior. Eris is fearless and stands up to the patriarchy. Between now and the end of the year, we are asked to go deep inside and heal our core primal wounds, the wounds of rejection, as well as heal the narcissistic abuse we have all endured during this time of patriarchy. All of us, regardless of our gender, have been abused by this patriarchal system, and this is the time for healing. This overly masculine world has not only harmed women, but all of us, because it has suppressed our inner feminine, and the world is in desperate need of more nurturing, love, and rest. Our goal is now to seek more balance within the masculine and feminine within all of us. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, which represents the individual, the primal force, and self-reliance. It is significant that our North Node is also in Aries. Our North Node represents the collective lessons we will be working on, and it's all about stepping into our power. This Chiron retrograde is prompting us to find our power as we continue healing our wounds. Keep in mind that this energy is leading us into eclipse season, which will be the last eclipse season in the Aries-Libra axis. It is so significant that all of these alignments are being influenced by Pluto, the planet of transformation, as it will make its final retrograde back into Capricorn in September, which also coincides with the next eclipse season. Additionally, and quite importantly, the US is completing its Pluto return as well this year. This is huge. The US began its Pluto return on February 22nd, 2022. With this last backtrack into Capricorn, this will hopefully be the final crumbling of these corrupt and antiquated systems worldwide. All signs indicate that this is also the final crumbling of the old patriarchal system, and hopefully the rise to partnership and equality. And with the US completing its Pluto return at the same time, expect a lot of crumbling in the foundation of our country as well. Therefore, don't expect the energy to let up anytime soon. We did a lot of healing of the divine feminine last month, and this will continue as we head into August. As we approach Lionsgate on the 8th, we will experience the new moon in Leo on the 4th. Because this new moon is in the middle of this Lionsgate portal, it is definitely a powerful time for manifestations. However, Mercury will go into retrograde in Virgo the very next day, adding to this retrograde storm. Virgo rules work and health, and this retrograde will likely have us looking at our work-life balance. I hope that this retrograde storm does not hamper the 888 portal. As we begin closing out the year, it appears as though we're stepping into our divine feminine power to create a more balanced world. As we enter into the age of Aquarius, we're stepping out of power dynamics perpetrated by the patriarchy and stepping into a more balanced system. As we continue into the second half of the month, the energy only continues to ramp up, as Mars will conjunct Jupiter in Gemini and then create a T-square with Venus and Saturn on the 13th. So expect some tumultuous energy mid-August. And again, we're working with the themes of the wounded feminine, as Venus represents the feminine and Saturn represents karma. All of this is leading to the full moon in Aquarius, no less. I definitely feel something huge coming on the world stage. I think I will likely be hiding out in my Mount Shasta sanctuary I created until the end of the year. I will be spending a significant amount of time working on my next book. My recommendation for August is to once again focus on staying grounded, because we have a lot of intense energies heading our way. So let's keep shining the light and focusing on creating this new earth. If you would like to know more, please make sure to follow me. I'm so excited to be sharing another amazing month with all of you. Stay tuned for my next podcast in September. Sending all of you lots of love and light from the heart of Mount Shasta.